Francis from North America Consulting in Southeast Asia. I'm back to talk about the first and foremost challenge that most of our employers tell us they face with hiring foreign skilled tradesmen, welders specifically, and that is language. If there were enough welders in English-speaking countries, probably not many people would go outside of that. I mean, I understand, hey, you want to give instructions and you want people to understand what you say and do the work without mistakes. But unfortunately, the English-speaking countries are fished out. So we have to deal with people whose first language is not English. Now, this may sound like it's a big problem in the beginning, but it's not. I mean, these guys study, anyone who has gone through the efforts and process to try and work in Canada from, for example, Vietnam or Indonesia, has some ambition to begin with, and they have studied. Now, they have not studied in Canada, they have studied outside. I don't know if some of you may speak another language or may have learned another language, but learning a language outside of your target country is a little bit like learning to swim without a pool. You can know how to swim, you can read 100 books, but until you jump in the water, it never really hits you what you're learning. So there are some things to remember when the guys will come, and there's some preparation, and there are easy solutions around these problems. The first thing is the guys will have studied English, and even if they have achieved some high test scores and some good level, they will not be up to speed, literally. Native English speakers such as myself and you guys, we don't realize how fast we talk compared to people who are using it as a second language. So the first thing you will notice, you will pick them up at the airport and you'll notice that they can't understand you. And it's not because they can't speak English, it's because you're speaking twice as fast as the people that they learned from. There's no way around it. So, slow down. Literally, it will fix half of the problems that you may have with English. Slow down. And you keep slowing down until you reach the level at which they understand you. Now, you don't have to always speak like that. But basically, in work situations, when you really you need people to understand what you're saying, you need to speak slowly. And that will take care of half the problems. Another problem is vocabulary. In our case, we work heavily on that with the welders here before they go to Canada. So they have a fairly good grasp of spoken and written vocabulary in welding. Because we specialize in the metal trades, we can do that. If you're working with another company, you want to ask them to do this, because if they come with just English lessons for conversation, they will know nothing about your industry-specific vocabulary, and they will be really lost at sea for a few months. So you're going to want to make sure that that's prepped. And then what you do when they get there is you can test them on vocabulary. You should assign one person to take care of your foreign tradesmen's language abilities, and to be sure that they study and to give them some testing, to be sure that they're still studying. They must continue to study for a few years. So you need to watch that, especially with vocabulary, so that they always remember and they pick up speed with it. Okay, a third thing that may be a problem is slang. Not only is there regular slang, but there's lingo that they're not familiar with. They work in a welding shop here. They could have 7, 8, 9, 10 years experience. They could study the vocabulary that's in the book that we give them. They could test well on that, really learn it, but they get there and people are using slang and they're lost again. So you should avoid slang when giving instructions and when clarifying and when talking about work-related issues. Try to use just standard English. That will help a lot. There's a few general things when you hire foreign tradesmen. They come in with intermediate language ability. You're going to think it's bad, but it'll pick up quick as long as people pay attention to things. Written instructions are always helpful. Almost all these guys can read very well. Written instructions means that you won't have mistakes. I know it's time consuming and usually the shop steward doesn't want to mess with it, but write it down, give it to them. It's the best way to avoid any problems. All of our welders we teach to read shop drawings, standard shop drawings with welding symbols. So you should, if you don't use a company that we work with, you should definitely ask them to teach welding drawings. It's not that hard, once you get the principles, you can figure it out. This is another thing that you can have ongoing testing with. Easy enough. You have drawings, you just ask them, and if they don't do well, you make them study. Another way around some of the language issues is you hire people from the same country. Say you need 5 guys, you need 10 guys, your LMO is approved. You may want to take them all from one country. Some employers worry that this will create some clique inside their companies, which it well may, and that's up to you to integrate them. But it does save some trouble with language, because out of 5 or 10 guys, you will get one that has very good English skills, and within a few months can be the lead hand for that language group. This is it's kind of a long-term planning, and now with the percentages of foreign workers, you've got to have a fairly large company to be able to hire 10, 15, 20 guys. Those are some easy ways around language. There's language can be taught. You can't. It's hard to teach 10 years of welding experience, but you can teach people to speak English. I know this for a fact, and from having learned other languages myself and teaching it. So this is not rocket science here. Language is, yes, it's a challenge. No, it's not insurmountable. It's something we can take care of. That's about it. I'm going to head off now. We'll go to the next video, which will be talking about equipment and training and the differences between, we're going to use our experience here in Asia and Canadian standard. All right, thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.